Well, thank you.
Good night.
On World News Tonight, this Thursday, buried at sea, close to where they died.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. It was a simple, private burial. It was what the families wanted, the privacy only possible because the Kennedys and the Bessetts went to sea. Our first report tonight is from ABC's Morton Dean.
It was a day of profound sadness. Members of both grieving families arriving in Woods Hole with heavy hearts and haunted looks. Senator Ted Kennedy and John Kennedy's sister Caroline led their family, dressed in dark clothing, onto the Coast Guard cutter Sanibel. It would transport the mourners to the Navy destroyer, the USS Briscoe. The Bessette family included Carolyn and Lauren's mother, sister, and stepfather. Earlier in the morning, the Coast Guard cutter took some ceremonial items to the destroyer, 3 precisely folded American flags, and 3 floral wreaths, which are now floating somewhere off the coast of Martha's Vineyard. The journey for the 17 family members was soon underway, and in a few minutes, the families arrived at the Briscoe for the religious ceremony. 4 Navy chaplains and a civilian Jesuit priest would conduct the ceremony. It took the destroyer 25 minutes to reach the waters off the southwest coast of Martha's Vineyard, just 3 miles from where John Kennedy's plane crashed. The Briscoe stopped, remaining almost motionless for 30 minutes. It was then that the family members, 1 to 3 at a time, scattered the ashes into the sea. It was a very private ceremony. The government had created a virtual zone of privacy for miles around, banning the public and the news media. While it was held on a U.S. Navy ship and a Navy brass quintet played, it was not a military ceremony. There were no taps. As the ceremony ended, the seas, which had just received the ashes of John Kennedy Jr., Carolyn Bessette Kennedy, and her sister Lauren, began to churn, and their family's departure for land had to be delayed, giving them even more time to contemplate their day of profound sadness. Morton Dean, ABC News, Hyannisport.
The tradition of burying the dead at sea is as old as seafaring. The captain calls, all hands, bury the dead.
Burial at sea is probably the most solemn and ancient ritual that is carried out at sea.
Born of necessity centuries ago when ships were weeks from any port. Today, a simple honor for anyone who has served in the military.
The crew is mustered in their dress uniforms. Words are spoken either by a chaplain if embarked or by the captain, and the departed shipmate is consigned to the deep.
Death is at all times solemn, wrote the editor, Charles Dana, during the Civil War, but never so much as at sea. Off the coast of Virginia today, on the aircraft carrier named for the late president, a moment of silence. The USS Kennedy already carries a portrait of JFK Jr. saluting his father's coffin. Off Martha's Vineyard, the USS Grasp continues to pull up the wreckage of John F. Kennedy Jr.'s Piper Saratoga. ABC's Lisa Stark has been monitoring the recovery operation again today, and she reports tonight from Woods Hole in Massachusetts.
It's gone twice as fast as expected, and ABC News has learned that more than 90% of the plane has now been recovered. The broken fuselage with parts of the wings ripped off, seats and wires twisted from the impact, is still on board the Navy vessel, the USS Grasp. The wreckage is expected to be taken off the ship sometime tomorrow at the Naval Station in Newport, Rhode Island, and trucked back to Cape Cod for examination by investigators. They believe they have enough pieces to determine whether there was a problem with the plane, including the propeller, engine, and instrument panel, all recovered in 116 feet of water.
The information that may be available from this wreckage includes whether the engine was running, the prop was turning, and maybe even the instrument readings, which could tell us the airspeed and the angle of entry.
The wreckage has already revealed one thing. It is unlikely the plane broke up in the air because the pieces of the plane are not scattered over a wide area. And investigators already know how the 3 people on board died. They died instantly on impact with the water. Although the investigation continues, officials have suspended all briefings out of deference to the families until the burials and the memorial services are completed. Peter?
Thank you, Lisa. Lisa Stark at Woods Hole in Massachusetts. There is some appetite for a public celebration of John F. Kennedy Jr.'s life and that of his wife and sister-in-law here in New York in a neighborhood that used to be called Little Ireland. The Irish community today celebrated a Mass at St. Patrick's Cathedral. Family and friends will gather again tomorrow for a private memorial service on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, and ABC News will have live coverage beginning at 10 Eastern Time tomorrow. When we come back this evening, the other news of the day.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings, brought to you by Boost Bars and Drinks.
Lively conversation every morning. Wrestling Sunday afternoons. Free Boost right now. Just call 1-800-225-5192 for a free can of Vanilla Boost drink. Find out why more people prefer the taste of Vanilla Boost over the leading nutritional drink. Call 1-800-225-5192 right now. And make Boost a nutritional part of your complete life.
One word convinced me to take an herbal to help maintain memory. Centrum.
Centrum Ginkgo is different. Some brands can lack natural ingredients. Only Centrum uses Pharmaprint for a more complete herbal every time. Centrum herbals, each naturally more complete.
Working out or working hard, Centrum has your nutrition covered. With Centrum, you benefit from what science is discovering about how vitamins and minerals help maintain health and strengthen immunity. Centrum, always complete from A to Zinc.
Do you use the same corn pads your grandmother used? Well, there's a breakthrough. Band-Aid brand corn relief cushions. It relieves painful pressure and stays in place better.
Band-Aid brand cushions for feet, corn relief.
For those of you who know, of course, that was St. Patrick's Old Cathedral, which is in downtown Manhattan, that celebration today. On the Money tonight, another warning about the economy from Alan Greenspan. Testifying before Congress today, the chairman of the Federal Reserve said he did not know whether the Fed would raise interest rates again anytime soon, but he did promise to act promptly and forcefully if there is any evidence of inflation. On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was down about 33.5 points to close at 10,969. On the NASDAQ, stocks were down a little more than 77 points. The internet retailer Amazon.com lost $138 million in the second quarter. That sent its shares down about 18% today. The company is spending vast amounts of money on advertising and acquisitions in an effort to increase sales. United Parcel Service, UPS, is going public. Stock analysts believe UPS stock will be in greater demand because it ships goods bought on the internet, and the company may grow as internet commerce grows. Federal Chairman Alan Greenspan did say today he believes it's more important to pay down the national debt than to lower taxes. But this afternoon in Washington, House Republicans settled an internal revolt and passed a bill cutting taxes by $792 billion over the next 10 years. President says he won't accept it. Here's ABC's Linda Douglas.
The bill is passed.
In the short run, House Republican leaders got what they wanted, a tax cut they could crow about.
This is not the government's money.
It's your money. You earned it. You shouldn't pay more than we need, and we shouldn't need more than we do.
But to get enough votes for passage, GOP leaders had to craft a shaky compromise within their own party. Dissidents complained the tax cut would siphon off money that should be used to pay down the national debt. So GOP leaders promised that if interest on the debt rises in any year, the 10% income tax cut would not be applied in that year. But some economists warn that plan might be unworkable because interest on the debt is hard to calculate, and the IRS might have to keep revising tax rates. At the same time, other parts of the tax reduction package would go into effect: the cut in capital gains and the phase-out of the inheritance tax. So Democrats argued the only people sure to benefit would be the wealthy.
$1,000 for the rich, pocket change for working Americans. That's the Republican tax bill.
The president says he would veto the House plan, and the Senate won't pass it either. But House Republicans think they have scored points with their core voters, the ones most likely to turn out next year. Linda Douglas, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
Couple of notes from overseas. There's more difficulty for Coca-Cola in Europe. Investigators have now raided the company's offices in Britain, Germany, Austria, and Denmark, looking into allegations that Coke is illegally driving competitors out of the market. Coca-Cola denies the allegations. And the American cyclist Lance Armstrong reaffirmed today that barring catastrophe, he's going to win the Tour de France. On the last difficult mountain stage, he held on to his 6-minute lead. The race ends in Paris on Sunday. When we come back, some serious questions for the Pentagon about misusing millions of dollars and spending as it pleased. We'll take a closer look.
In the beginning, all was darkness and sorrow. And then, one day, now, it is time. The Maytag Dual Cool Refrigerator, where finally the temperatures are just right. Yay! Our future looks bright indeed, for this refrigerator actually keeps food fresh.
Quick Dissolve Maalox contains calcium.
Get more calcium than regular Tums with new Maalox Quick Dissolve Chewable Antacid.
The calcium is an added plus, definitely.
And it dissolves faster than Tums.
I can't improve on that.
Quick Dissolve your heartburn away and get more calcium.
Stop assuming that just because you're hugging one of these, you can't have a car that was made for hugging these. Alara, with the road hugging active response system. Start feeling connected. Alara by Oldsmobile. Start something.
Have you heard about this new Resolve fabric refresher? It not only removes the toughest odors safely and permanently, it dries faster than the leading brand. Why wait? New quick-drying Resolve fabric refresher.
This is really something. You see this pain reliever? Nothing is proven to work better or last longer. Nothing. You see this one? For 14 years, people have counted on this for relief, and it's gentle on the stomach. And you may be surprised to learn that both are Advil. It's true. Nothing's proven to work better or longer than Advil. And millions of people can tell you it's gentle to the stomach. Strong, yet gentle. Advil.
The Pentagon is in hot water tonight, and so we're going to take a closer look. In some ways, it's an old story. Weapon systems that have run way over budget in development. In this case, specifically, a new fighter plane, the F-22. And there are also serious allegations that Pentagon officials have actually broken the law by ignoring what the Congress had ordered them to do, or not to do. First, here's ABC's John Martin.
In critical language rarely aimed at the Pentagon, the House Appropriations Committee accused the Air Force and the Army of defying the law and the Constitution by funding weapons and programs without the consent of Congress. Today's report calls the actions abuses, which it says are numerous.
This is really a direct challenge to our constitutional system of government. Congress is supposed to have the power of the purse.
Congress did not approve the C-5's modernization, Yet the Air Force diverted several $100 million from another project to pay for it. The Pentagon bought thousands of these Army trucks after Congress told it to wait until the truck maker fixed serious defects. The Army bought these special tanks with funds from a demonstration project for another program. Congress terminated a medium-altitude air defense program, but the Defense Secretary revived it with $2 million from a different project. Today, Secretary Cohen defended the diversions as few in number.
About 99.9% of the time, we seem to be doing things right.
We're talking about a principle. Who is allowed to spend taxpayer money and under what circumstances?
A spokesman here dismissed the failure to notify Congress as accidents. But Subcommittee Chairman Jerry Lewis of California, at work today on the budget, said that even after 20 years in office, he found the Pentagon's disobedience little short of amazing. John Martin, ABC News, Washington.
Here is the other amazing thing that has happened to the military establishment this week. In this case, it's the Air Force. It is almost unthinkable for the Congress to kill a major weapon system that is virtually on the assembly line. But it is very close to that with the F-22, the single most advanced piece of technology in the whole Air Force arsenal. Here's ABC's John McWethy.
Last week, the new F-22, billed as the most advanced fighter plane on the planet, was flying through its early test program, already earmarked as the cutting edge of the 21st century Air Force. Now, suddenly, it is in jeopardy of being canceled. The House would delay production of the F-22 for at least a year because the aircraft is too expensive. House members were influenced by how badly strained the Air Force is after Kosovo and decided the money is urgently needed elsewhere.
The F-22 can become one of the most fabulous assets in the history of air power, but there are other alternatives. Let's find the best way to spend our money.
For now, the House is saying that means spending more to train and keep pilots and to buy more tankers and electronic jamming planes. The sudden attack on the F-22, which is projected to cost $200 million per plane, was led by the House Appropriations Committee, some of the Pentagon's most loyal supporters, all of whom basically liked the plane.
It would be a great plane to have if we had all of the money in the world, but the problem is that its costs are taking off faster than the airplane is expected to if it's ever constructed.
The administration argues that if production of the F-22 is put off, penalty costs for the delay will raise the price of the plane so high that Congress will never buy it.
I fear, Mr. Speaker, that this pause in the program effectively kills the development of a fighter aircraft that is the key to the long-term defense of our nation and of our allies.
In the last decade, the Air Force has spent nearly $20 billion to develop the F-22. No one doubts its potential. What is being questioned is whether the country can afford it. John McWethy, ABC News, the Pentagon.
The F-22 took another hit just today. The House of Representatives eliminated $1.8 billion of its funding. That effectively stops production. Research will continue. In just a moment, medicine and medical solutions. Technology on the cutting edge.
It's here. The GMC Summer Convoy. 2 million tons of professional-grade trucks, designed better than they need to be. Pickups, SUVs, and family vans. And on select 1999 models, some of the best values of the year. So come in now. This is one convoy you don't want passing you by. The GMC Summer Convoy.
Got heartburn caused by acid reflux? Only Gaviscon forms a soothing protective barrier that keeps acid down. Pepcid AC and Zantac 75 can't do that. Gaviscon, it helps keep acid down where it belongs.
You already know how important calcium is for your bones, but did you know that 85% of women still don't get enough? So start your day with Total. It's the only leading cereal that's an excellent source of calcium, even before adding milk. In fact, Total has more calcium than the milk itself. No other leading cereal comes close. Simple, low-fat, delicious. So good, you can feel it in your bones. Total Raisin Bran, Total Cornflakes. One bowl, one great source of calcium.
To be the best takes strength,
speed, endurance. Now the best way to cure athlete's foot has it all. New Lamisil AT. Strength. Full prescription strength to stop the itching and burning. Speed. These take 4 weeks of treatment to kill the fungus. Only Lamisil AT cures athlete's foot with just 1 week's use. Endurance. A study showed most users were still athlete's foot free 3 whole months later. Get it all in new Lamisil AT. The best way to cure athlete's foot.
I work out to keep my body in shape. To help keep my mind sharp, I take Quanterra Ginkgo biloba. It helps me concentrate, maintain focus. Why Quanterra? All ginkgos aren't the same. The patented Quanterra extract was proven safe and effective by doctors in extensive clinical trials. And it increases oxygen supply to the brain. With Quanterra mental sharpness, I feel my best, naturally. If it's not clinically proven, it's not Quanterra.
At Columbia University in New York, researchers say they have tested a new drug that prevents nerve cells from dying after a stroke occurs, which is good news. The hope is the drug could stop the paralysis and speech problems that often affect stroke victims, so far only tested in mice. The background to tonight's report about cutting-edge technology is this. As many as 1/3 of all medical emergencies occur because patients do not follow their doctor's orders, or they fail to read drug labels correctly. As ABC's Jack Smith reports, once again, there is an answer to be found in technology.
How many times do people run out of pills, or not take them when they're supposed to, or accidentally swallow the wrong ones? We've all done it at a terrible risk. But now, technology has a digital age solution, the world's first internet-connected smart medicine cabinet.
And the system knows.
Wrong. You are taking Allegra instead of Claritin.
It knew what you were taking.
Right.
Sensors on the back of each label let a computer inside the cabinet know which bottle you're taking.
Great. You have got the right medicine.
And there's more.
In the future, we also have a gravity or a weight sensor underneath. It can also keep track of how many pills you're taking.
So it knows if you're taking the right dose.
Right dose, right medication at the right time.
It knows all this by identifying the user with a tiny camera embedded in the cabinet and face recognition software.
Good morning, Johnny. I have allergy alert for you.
The cabinet is also wired to the internet, so refills can be ordered directly from the pharmacy and bills sent to the insurance company all automatically. No more paperwork. And that's not all. This prototype even lets people track their own vital signs. You can share this information with your doctor if you want to, using a special internet link that's as secure as a phone.
Congratulations. Your blood pressure is normal.
It is the future of medicine.
Home health care, empowering the individual, and real-time or near real-time communication of problems before they become acute emergencies. That's the new paradigm of medicine.
Smart home devices like this, available in as little as 3 years, it's predicted, will not only lower the cost of health care, but also dramatically increase the quality. Jack Smith, ABC News, Palo Alto, California.
Technology marching on. There was some skepticism here about a camera in the bathroom. Tonight, Colonel Eileen Collins, the first woman to command a U.S. spaceflight, is still waiting to take her place in the record books. For the second time this week, NASA has called off the launch of the space shuttle. Today it was thunderstorms. They'll try again tomorrow. When we come back, going home.
No, this isn't a jeans commercial. It's about constipation. You're bloated, not yourself. Your size 10s feel like 2s.
FiberCon has natural fiber action to relieve bloating constipation.
I'm myself again.
FiberCon, be regular, be yourself.
You've got to be quick to keep up with them. Quicker to help protect them. That's why Lysol disinfectant spray works in 30 seconds to kill 99.9% of germs. No spray works faster than Lysol spray. You have our word on it.
See the USA in your Chevrolet. The world is big and wide and the sun is shining.
This is how the world looks from the inside of the new Chevy Impala. And this is how the new Impala looks to the world. Designed, engineered, and built to be the most carefree car on the road.
Let's go for a drive.
Have you tried these yet? Specialized blends from one a day. Not just herbs. Herbs, vitamins, and minerals for things like memory. Have you seen my keys? Where are the keys? 83. And energy. Excuse me. Excuse me. Even tension and mood. Help your body help itself with one-a-day specialized blends. They're just what you need to feel your best.
She preached atheism and was hated for it. Then, a strange note, piles of gold missing, and no trace of her.
What was the scam? How were they hoodwinked? And who was behind it?
Was it murder, or did she vanish tonight?
So many people have written or spoken poetically about the sea, especially today. The Irish writer James Joyce talked of it as a metaphor for life and death. Another Irishman, President Kennedy, spoke often of his affection for the sea, and it was certainly shared by his son. Here's ABC's Aaron Brown.
For John Jr., as it has been for generations of Kennedys, the sea was a place to grow and play.
John Kennedy Jr.'s earliest memories would have been sitting on his father's lap on all sorts of boats off Hyannisport.
On boats and on beaches, in the water with his playmate, a Secret Service agent. Young John was at home in the water, the Kennedy way. The three oldest boys served in the Navy in World War II. JFK commanding the PT-109 and saving his crew. Younger brother Bobby serving on a ship named after his oldest brother Joe, who died a hero in the war. John would swim and sail and kayak in the ocean off Cape Cod. He would court his prospective bride on a small boat named 109 PT. The water is where the Kennedys found excitement. That's Bobby on the raft. It is where they found quiet, and it is where, just this week again, they found comfort and strength to deal with loss.
No matter how tumultuous their lives were, in all sorts of ways, the family would always come back to Hyannisport, would gather in the summer, and spend a lot of the time on sailboats.
The family's decision to have John buried at sea is something his father surely would have understood. The president spoke these words about our connection to the sea in 1962, the year before he died.
I think it's because, in addition to the fact that the sea changes, and the light changes, and ships change, it's because we all came from the sea. And it is an interesting biological fact that all of us have in our veins the exact same percentage of salt in our blood that exists in the ocean. And therefore, we have salt in our blood, in our sweat, in our tears. We are tied to the ocean. And when we go back to the sea, whether it is to sail or to watch it, we are going back from whence we came.
And so it was today. Aaron Brown, ABC News, New York.
That's our report on World News Tonight. I'm Peter Jennings. Good night.
Tomorrow, the Internet has been waiting, using power lines to transmit massive information. Breakthrough technology on ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABCnews.com, now a